All right, we're back with y'all. Sniper Sports, live from the 808 where we shoot you straight. This is Joey. With me as always is Steven.
Mm-hmm.
And we just concluded another NFL season. Excuse me. Super Bowl 54 is done.
Yes, it is.
What a thriller. Was definitely an exciting Super Bowl. Had a lot of ups and downs for both teams. A lot of highs and lows. And Kansas City Chiefs are your new NFL champs, man. So, Super Bowl trophy, Lombardi trophy's back in Middle America. KC, it was a great game. We're going to chop that up, talk about it, give you our thoughts.
Definitely.
Also, this isn't new by any means, but it's our first show since this has happened. Unfortunately, the untimely passing of Kobe Bean Bryant, all-time Laker great, personally one of my all-time favorites. So sad. Just want to pay our respects to Kobe and touch on that briefly. We're also going to go over some NBA trade deadlines. The deadline, is tomorrow.
Yes, it is.
Some NBA news and tell you who's gotten traded and who we expect to get moved. We also have UFC 247 this weekend, Steven.
Oh, yep.
John Jones and Dominic Reyes, young undefeated contender. See if he poses any threats to the champ. And we'll probably just finish up with just some NFL moves and rumors and possibilities of what's going on there. But let's start with the big game, shall we?
Yep.
Super Bowl 54, man. Wow, what a thriller. Your thoughts on the game and if you thought the best team won or maybe, it was more of a case of San Francisco let down, or was this more of a case of Mahomes' greatness and rising to the level of the occasion?
I think it was a mixture of things, to be honest with you, Joey. I was going for the Chiefs, as we said on the other other podcasts. And,
right.
I stated my biggest thing that I was going for KC was the quarterbacks. I like Patrick Mahomes. There's many things I like about Patrick Mahomes, but I think it's just his mental toughness.
Yes.
In the sense of always being down, never counting himself out, always being able to, we're going to figure this out before the game's through. We're going to figure out how to beat you. We're going to figure out this offense. We're going to figure out, this defense and this offense we have so many weapons. Something's going to happen for us. And I think that's what you saw it towards the end of the game. For the 49ers, I think for Kyle Shanahan, and, we mentioned this earlier with a lot of these young head coaches, coordinators, whatever you want to call them, they seem to be so fixated on running these set plays. And what I mean by that, every, Green Bay, that I don't know, I forgot the guy's coaches, so many of these young kids, but they have 20, 30, 40 plays that they have. Okay, this is what we're going to run all these plays for. You know what I'm saying? Because in football, maybe you run about 40 to 50 plays a game.
Yes.
And it just seems like when they're done with those set plays, it's like, what do we do? How do we call these things out? It showed towards the end of the game. I think Kyle Shanahan didn't know really what to do, or what plays to call. Where you see someone like Andy Reid, who's been in these situations before. Let's mix it up. Let's do these different things. Why don't we try doing this? It's never about set plays. It's more about, okay, these are the plays that we like.
Yes.
Why don't we try something different? So I think it was an all-around effort from Kansas City, and they just came out in the fourth quarter. I think you saw their offense wear out San Fran's defense. I think you saw in the fourth quarter they looked very, very tired. And no disrespect to the Niners, but I really don't think they're going to win a Super Bowl with Garoppolo as their quarterback. Many people, I think, disagree with me on this and trying to say Jimmy's this or this kind of quarterback. I don't think he is. He's a Kirk Cousins. Let me just say that. He's a Kirk Cousins.
Okay. Well, strong comments about Garoppolo. I do definitely think he's a bit overrated, but I don't anywhere think he's a bust. I still think he's a work in progress. But I do want to touch on what you just mentioned about the coaching, Steven. I think a lot of these coaches, they're young and they're new and they get so, I'm not sure. Maybe it's more of it's important to implement their style and coach the way they want to and be different. But it just leads me to believe, keep it simple, stupid. You know what I mean? Do what works. Do what gets you here. At the end of the day, it's still football, right? And in certain situations, there's stuff that's high percentage and low percentage, And I just think that Kyle Shanahan in particular, he is deserve a little bit of blame, because in that fourth quarter, Steven, when they were up 10 points with 7 minutes left or even 6 and some change, the Niners had a 96% chance of winning, and they let it go. They didn't continue to do what got them there. That was run the football. They didn't do that late. I don't know if Shanahan was trying to maybe outthink himself or overthink things and go with the pass and be deceptive, but it didn't work. There was one possession there late in the game where they only burned 49 seconds off the clock, punted and gave the ball back to Mahomes with 5:23 left. And they were only down, I think, 3 points at that point. So, I mean, they really did a poor job at managing the clock, running the ball, what got them there, and eating it up. But I don't want to say it was all the Niners and Shanahan that dropped the ball, because you really did see some greatness from Mahomes in those last 2 drives. You put him in a position where he's the best, you know what I mean? Where he executes the best in a quick 2-minute offense where it's just run and gun, quick huddle, and that's what you saw. I mean, he made clutch throws when he needed to make clutch throws. Jimmy did not. I don't want to beat up Jimmy G too much, because I thought other than that one interception that he threw early in the game, that he played a pretty decent game. I mean, I don't want to beat him up. I do think he was at one point like 15 of 18 for like 185 yards. I mean, you know, not a breakout game, Steven, but managing the game well and doing what's asked of him, okay? He was. So I guess what I'm trying to get at is I put a little bit more blame on the coach, especially, 3 years back when Kyle Shanahan was the coordinator there in Atlanta, and they were up 28-3 at the half over New England, and we all know how that ended. So I really think they dropped the ball there. But I don't want this to be the main narrative of the Super Bowl. I really enjoyed the Super Bowl. I thought it was great. Like I said, it had a lot of highs and lows for both teams. And I definitely think San Francisco, they're not going anywhere. They're definitely the second best team in the NFL. They will be back next year, and it's primarily because of that front four on the pass rush. If they can bring back Sherman, bring back Jimmy Ward on the corners there, they have a really good team. Garoppolo definitely needs to improve. I think they need to lock up some of those running backs, but San Francisco isn't going anywhere. They just need to, probably tweak a few things, and but it is kind of, I mean, man, if you're a San Fran fan, you kind of feel like they let this one slip away.
Oh, totally. And I totally agree with you in the sense of I think they have the easiest road to get back to the Super Bowl. San Fran does. I mean, when you're looking at the whole NFC, I mean, you go to the NFC East, the biggest people to give them problems maybe is Dallas. They don't even know they're going to sign back their quarterback.
Right.
The South, you look at them with with the Saints or whatever, Saints probably
are still there. Yep.
But you don't know if Drew Brees is going to come back. You look at the North, and maybe with you have Kirk Cousins there in Minnesota, so let's not get the hopes up with them.
Right.
And you have Green Bay, where I don't think they have enough talent on offense or on defense to really stop them. So I mean, the only team that I see probable to give the 49ers the most problems is in their own conference, and that's Seattle.
That's what I was going to say, Seattle. Yeah.
But I'm going back to your point about why I'm busting up on Jimmy G and why I'm saying that he is because he missed 2 critical throws when the game counted. He missed that one to Sanders going down. I mean, I thought that would have been a
Sanders
touchdown.
had at least 2 steps on him.
And Kittle. I mean, he's a great passer when there's nothing on the line, but when there's something on the line, I don't think he's that quarterback, and that's why I put him in stuff with Kirk Cousins. I mean, Monday Night Games has Kirk Cousins won. I mean, big games has he won.
Right.
He went to a better team than what the Redskins were, with 2 good wide receivers, a running back, a great tight end, a good defense.
Yeah. And I can't argue that. I mean, at this point right now, folks, I mean, we can't expect Jimmy G to win us the game and put it on his shoulders. He's not that quarterback, not yet. He could be. I'm not ready to say he can't. I'm not ready to say he won't. He will not be. We just haven't seen that yet. He has to evolve into that, and he's still a work in progress, therefore.
I will put my approval that he is a Kirk Cousins.
Okay. Steven disagrees. He thinks he's going to be somewhat
right,
of a
Joe.
bust.
You were hard on me about Kirk Cousins. Don't worry. It's going to take time for you to see this one just as well. Don't worry, Joey. Don't worry.
I don't know. So we're in a little disagreements there. I'm not going to beat up Garoppolo too much. I do think he's a little overrated, and he's not there yet as far as, putting the team on his back. But he is on the right team. San Fran is a complete team. I was saying before the Super Bowl started, and that's why I did pick KC. I went with a better quarterback, but overall I went with experience, and Andy Reid has experience. It comes down to experience. It's like a young team in the NBA that they're flashy, they put up a lot of points, but they don't know how to close out the game, and they lose.
I think so.
Or a young fighter who has a big fight, and the moment's maybe a little too big for them, and they don't know how to quite finish it out. it's the same thing, man. This thing is a process. It takes time to learn how to win. And Andy Reid paid his dues. He had the team and the better quarterback and the more explosive team as far as, at least on offense. And to be honest with you, I thought the Chiefs still needed a few pieces on defense. And that's no disrespect to Honey Badger, Frank Clark, and some of the other players that they have on that D. But I really thought, we were saying it here on Sniper Sports, in the middle of the season that Kansas City could have made a trade for just one more guy. Maybe a top linebacker or another corner, because it's a little bit, weak there, their secondary. But not to worry, Pat Mahomes, he's got this. He's got it covered. He put the team on his back and did what he had to do. Damian Williams had a very nice game as well, had over 100 yards rushing, and I believe he had a 40 yards receiving and a touchdown. So he was, I know the game plan was primarily to stop Mahomes. Damian Williams benefited from that, had a nice game. Tyreek Hill quietly had 9 receptions for over 100 yards. And Sammy Watkins had just under 100 yards and made some big timely catches to keep the chains moving. But overall, I just want to say I really enjoyed this Super Bowl. I think Pat Mahomes, he's a next-level quarterback. He's making that quarterback position evolve, much like Steph Curry is changing the game in the NBA with the three-point shot, or already has. And I just think you're seeing the next level, next-tier quarterback. You got to be mobile. You got to be accurate, and you got to be able to improv, because the defense is getting quicker and more talented. I definitely think Mahomes is the future, but at the same time, I think San Fran has a dynamite team. And Nicky Bosa, Buckner, right here out of the 808, man, Armstead, man, even Warner, the middle linebackers, underrated. They just have a great team, great defense. The guys are young. I think if they can keep everybody, they're not going anywhere. Yeah,
it's funny that you just said that about talking about San Fran and this team they have and everything, and how they're gonna they can maintain. And that's an interesting point you bring up, because it's like, unless Jimmy gets better, they're just gonna maintain and be the same way. Where I think with Kansas City, I mean, if you look at their defense, if their defense can pick up
just one or two
players,
pieces. Yes.
And that defense is even stronger than it was this year, how much better will Kansas City be?
Oh, wow.
If they pick up maybe another running back or another wide receiver to complement, I know Sammy Watkins, he was talking about they don't know if they're going to bring him back or not.
Right. He was talking about maybe taking a year off.
Exactly. But if you bring in what I'm saying is there's so much more that Kansas City can do to get better in every aspect of the game, where, I guess what I'm saying is, like, San Fran seems to be at the top of its top right over here. The only way they can get to the real peak of it
is quarterback improvement.
Exactly. Everything else is pretty much downhill. Where, like, it seems KC's like right in the middle of the hill, and there's still ways that they can get better, they can improve and
totally
do
follow
better.
that. I
so
agree.
It's just interesting about that whole perspective, and they were able to win, and so watch out for KC.
Yeah.
Watch out for KC.
Yeah, great Super Bowl. They're Super Bowl 54. They're your champs. Mahomes is the MVP. Staying with the NFL. Just some quick news here. Tom Brady has been in the news lately of where is he going to go, and he's really going to test the free agent market. And a couple of days ago, New England said that they would be willing to pay him $30 million for one more year. I guess they took that off the table today, from what I'm hearing. They do not want to pay him $30 million for 1 year for this year coming up, and I agree with that. He's 43 years old. Let's face it. But what really caught my eye is the way the shows are like, oh, Tom Brady's testing the free agent market, and he can go anywhere. He has his choice, and maybe he'll go to the Raiders, or maybe he'll go to Tampa, and this and that. And Stephen, I'm just hearing all this chatter, and I'm thinking to myself, no, he can't. Tom Brady is just like Eli Manning, Phillip Rivers, and these older quarterbacks that are statues back there in the pocket. If he doesn't get that pass off in 2.2 seconds, okay, he's getting sacked back there. You saw that. He needs to go to a team with a top 5 offensive line in the league. I don't see where he has his pick to just go anywhere he wants because it's Tom Brady. Maybe it's fun to talk about. It's the offseason. It's Brady. But let's be realistic here, people. He can't just go wherever. Tom Brady better stay put in New England, or there's maybe to me a few teams that might make sense for him. And that's probably, in my opinion, the Chargers and maybe Dallas. Maybe. Of course, Dallas has Dak there, but, for entertainment purposes and Jerry and the money and, they might entertain that, right?
I think it would. I think that would be pretty interesting for him to go to Dallas. He'd make me hate Dallas even more.
Yeah, right.
I just think there's one other team that honestly, I think there's only one team that he would really be set on going to and where he would love to go, and that'd be San Francisco. That's where he's from. He grew up cheering on the 49ers.
Right.
And I'll be honest with you, I think if they get Tom Brady or anybody else, I think they'll be definitely in the Super Bowl. I don't think Tom Brady misses those passes,
Right.
to Sanders or to Kittle.
I agree with you.
You
give him time. He's not missing those passes.
Exactly. You give him that time, I think he still has a definitely an arm. But, I think it's just more, this just seems like almost like a Brett Favre situation where, like, how many teams are really willing to take a chance on Tom Brady? Maybe Dallas. I heard the Raiders are really up to that idea of him coming there. Mm-hmm. But is it more for publicity because he's going to be in Vegas? They want to bring out somebody that, famous, right. I guess.
It's more about business than winning.
Exactly. But, I mean, I don't know. It'd be cool for him to just stay in New England and stay there. Joe Montana said it best. He just should stay in New England and ride out there for 1, maybe 2 more years. And yeah. But
if that, I'd be surprised if he has 2 seasons. I think he's got 1, if that, left. But I just think it's funny how they're acting like he can go anywhere. Don't see it happening. Defensive players are getting better quicker. You need to be mobile, people.
People don't want to be wrong. People don't want to be. They don't want to be wrong about Tom Brady and everything. But definitely think that they are. So
yeah, I think they just don't want to let it die. But hey, everything changes. Time moves on. Father Time is undefeated.
Yeah. Well, moving on to some basketball. I think it's only appropriate maybe we start with some Kobe.
Sure.
Joe, I'll let you take it off from here with Kobe and give your thoughts. And
just tragedy, bro. Just tragedy. Really unexpected. Just such a tragedy with his daughter too, and all those other people that lost their lives. I don't know. I'm just waiting to hear more things come out about what happened, although I don't think it matters. What matters is it's gone. And so I guess I just want to say what Kobe meant to me as a Laker fan and the legacy. One of my all-time, Magic Johnson and Kobe Bryant are my 1-2 favorite Lakers of all time. Those guys have brought me so much joy, from a kid to a man, and all the times I've been a fan. And I just think that his work ethic, the way he attacked the game, the way he pursued excellence, that can never be matched. We can all debate who's the best, Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, yada yada. But I think where Kobe's second to none is just his preparation and the way he was maniacal about getting every ounce of talent out of him, just maximizing that, putting in the maximum effort, motivates all of us. Just the things he would do, and he'll be greatly missed. And I really hope the Lakers, can kind of take this emotion and use it for fuel, and just have a dynamite season and win the chip, for Laker Nation, for Kobe and LeBron and AD. That was their plan, to come here and get another one even before all this. But once again, I don't know what else to say. Just a tragedy, Steven, and Kobe will be greatly missed. One of the best to ever do it. Brought me a lot of joy.
Yeah, I guess to start off, to be honest, like, Kobe wasn't always my favorite player coming in, to be honest with you, Joey. Mm-hmm. There are a lot of things as a 17-year-old he did, that just kind of, got on my nerves, always wanting the ball, the perception of it was always selfish. But I think growing, through the years, I think as we have, and I think one of the things that connects us both is this, we were kind of growing up with him at the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He started at 17. I think he's like a year or two older than me, and just seeing the transition in his life, you see it in your life, and I think that's what really connected us, if you want to say. It was with him. You saw go through that young phase and go through kind of like that mid-30s, and then as he got older, he understood, like, okay, this is what it's all about. It's not really this. And he becoming one of my favorite Lakers of all time. I mean, to be all honesty, I love Magic, but I'm going to agree with him and say Kobe's the best Laker.
The greatest Laker.
The greatest Laker of all time. I think he, spent 20 years with that franchise and what he's done. And for me, I've said on multiple podcasts, I definitely think that he's better than LeBron. especially from that stretch of that 2008 to 2010, 11 season when he put the Lakers on his back and was able to take them to 3 straight finals. He lost 1, but to do that with the type of team that he had, it's just great to see. And I don't think we've seen that from any other person, to take a team like that and put them on their back. But I think off the court is what's really the hardest to understand with all this, what is going on. I mean, 41 years old. I mean, that's still very young, with
very
us,
young.
you know what I mean? And to see the potential that he had off the court and what he was doing, with his media companies and with, his books and just everything, different aspects of that, having the Mamba facility for both his daughters. His brother's daughter, Natalia, was, really into volleyball. Second one, Gigi, was really great at basketball. I mean, she had just the mentality that he had. And I think it's just the what ifs, Joey. Like, we're missing. Like, what was he going to do? How was he going to do this? What was he, it was just like, what was he doing? Or what was he going to bring to the world to really, like, magnify everything else? And, of course, his daughter and what he was doing with women's basketball and all these different things was just kind of heart-shattering to see that all come to an abrupt stop, and just not having that opportunity to see everything unfold. It's very
Absolutely.
sad.
It's very sad, and I remember when Kobe retired, and I was even sad for about a week, and just thinking that, man, we're really going to miss Kobe Bryant. Even the whole NBA, nobody has that kind of mentality just to be an assassin and attack you. Guys are taking pictures after the game and exchanging jerseys and stuff. It's just kind of a different time now. Don't get me wrong, I like that they get along, but I still want that raw competition. I still want that guy that comes in here and, no, I don't want to shake your hand. I want to play. I want to compete against you. We can shake hands later. And Kobe was just kind of that guy, and I just, man, to think that he's not even here on this planet is just so devastating. And like you said, just starting his second career and getting that off the ground, and how involved he was with his daughters. I mean, we've seen Kobe go from a young, kind of a arrogant, guy to a young champion, to those middle years where he struggled with the Lakers when he had teammates like Chris Mim and Smush Parker and didn't have much of a team. And then they made the trade for Paul Gasol, and they got Lamar, and they got pieces, and he showed those guys how to win. And like you said, they won. They went to the finals 3 years and got 2 out of 3. Lost to the Celtics first year, came back, got them. Beat Orlando, I think, in the last one with young Dwight Howard. But anyways, we just seen Kobe just grow at every phase, and man, I don't know. I'm lost for words. I don't know what else to say. He'll be greatly missed. He has all my respect and then some. One of the best to ever do it, and my heart goes out to his family.
Definitely. But moving on with some basketball, we had some trades. Some interesting trades. I mean, we can talk about the Andre Iguodala one to Miami. I think that's awesome. They traded for Justin Winslow. Winslow, is that his name? Justice
Winslow, yeah.
Not a surprise there.
He's going to Memphis, I think.
Yes, he is. I guess the biggest surprise for me was Clint Capella going to the Hawks. It just really shocked me that Houston would do that kind of trade, because for me, I think that's what helped their offense run. You know what I mean? With Harden and him, where he would throw alley-oops to him. It just, that really made no sense to me. I know they're trying to win now, but I'm just kind of dumbfounded by this. Like, what were you guys trying to...
Yeah, I don't see how that makes them better.
I don't. I mean, maybe you can explain that to me, Joey.
I don't. I don't see how that makes them better. I'm trying to think who the Rockets got to let Kurt Capella go, because they don't really have any, post player or any presence down there. Unless I'm not thinking of someone, I can't think of that. So I'm not sure what the Rockets were doing. Just trying to clear up cap space. I'll agree with you. Iguodala, even though he's getting older, is probably the most important trade, because this is somebody that can defend the wing, and he's still a fairly good shooter. He can hit the 3 if he's wide open, but he's primarily there as a defender and can still slash. And so I think that's a big pickup for Miami. I know the Lakers were kicking the tires on him, but for some reason they weren't able to make that happen. I know Kuzma's been on the trade block, which I don't have a problem with. I just want to get equal compensation. I don't know who's out there that would help us, that would benefit from a Kyle Kuzma trade. I really don't.
Yeah, I know you're bringing about Anthony Morris was talked about. I know he's from the Lakers and the Clippers. I know the Clippers don't want to give up Sharpert or whatever.
Amon Shepard, he's on the Clippers.
No. I forgot his name. He's a young kid, but I mean, he puts up good numbers. I know the Clippers don't want to trade him for. The Knicks want him, but the Clippers don't want to give him up. But I'll be honest. I mean, if we do give Kuzma for Morris, I think that would be be interesting. As I said before the show when we are talking about it, I don't think he's there with Kuzma offensively, but I think defensively and having that presence where we're not gonna mess. Don't mess with me or my teammates. I'm gonna stand up for them. I think we're missing that with the Lakers, and I think when we do play the Clippers, I think that's something important to have to kind of.
Yeah, no, just give us that length. You got Dwight Howard, Anthony Davis. You bring in another big guy. I mean, Kuzma's 6'9", but he doesn't really play like a big man.
Yeah, he
plays kind of like a 6'5", like a what do you call that? A guard forward.
Yeah,
like a point forward. Not a point forward, but you know what I mean. In betweener there, and because if you watch Kuzma on the defensive end, there's a lot of room for improvement there. But all I'm saying, if we're going to get rid of Kyle Kuzma, let's make it worth it. We all know what LeBron wants. He wants a shooter. He wants somebody that he can slash, and when he gets double teamed, he can just pitch it out, and they're going to knock it down. He needs a proven veteran. So, me personally, Steven, I'm fine if the Lakers don't make a move at all. I really am. I really like the guys we have. I think we just need to improve and have faith in one another and believe. I really don't think we need to make a move.
I agree with that.
I know because they were kicking the tires on Derrick Rose as well, and I don't see how that makes us better.
No, we don't need that.
Yeah, that doesn't make us better.
I'll be honest. I mean, if we do trade for someone, I think Morris would be the best trade for what we could get for Kuzma. Just in the sense of we don't need another star there. We don't need someone slashing like Derrick Rose. So I think that would be the best trade if we do trade for.
Yeah, Morris is a stretch four, bruiser who can hit the three.
Exactly. So that's my thoughts on it.
I agree. Who I'm surprised didn't move, or I wouldn't be surprised who moves tomorrow, is John Wall. I know the Washington has moved on from him, but he's still over there. And I wouldn't be surprised if he moves. Nobody's really talking about that. Is he still injured?
I don't know if he's fully back yet or if he is back yet. With the Washington Wizards, I think it's just, they're
kind of a forgotten team, aren't they?
For some point in time, I know Bradley Beal wants to stay there and win, but at some point in time, if they're not doing anything
they're not relevant
to do anything to make you win. I really think that it's time to move on and maybe go to another team and test the waters there. But I mean, that's just my thoughts on it. But
I think really could use somebody is Portland. I see Kevin Love would be a good fit there. They need depth. Right now, I don't even think they're in the top 8 in the West right now, so they wouldn't make the playoffs if the season ended today. And that's a shame because Damian Lillard and C.J. McCollum, I love watching those guys in the backcourt. So I think if anybody could benefit from a trade, it'd be them. Carmelo Anthony's been a nice fit, but it hasn't helped them in terms of wins. And that's what it's about. I know the West is tough, but I'm thinking maybe a Kevin Love, somebody like that over there. But nonetheless, I mean, what are we really talking about, right? It'd just be a nice move. It doesn't mean like Portland's going to climb up the West.
No.
To me, it's between the two LA teams this year. And, Denver's always, hanging around. But to me, I really think in the West, it's between the two Los Angeles teams.
I agree with that as well. I think also when, for Portland, I just think like, that I know it's kind of hard to explain and understand, but I just don't think they have a pecking order. You know what I mean? I think it's just like whoever has a hot hand, go do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Whether it be like Lillard or McCollum or Anthony or whoever else. It's just like, okay, well, just go on and score. We just want somebody to score and win the game for us. There's no pecking order of what's going on and how to do things. So I don't really know what they can do to get better.
They need to get a lot better on the defensive end.
They need to
They're
get a
kind
lot
of a
better.
scoring team, and then kind of like Houston. You can score on Portland.
I think that's maybe what they're trying to do, but I don't know. That's going to come and help you win some playoff games anyway. So,
right.
I'll be honest.
I heard, Derrick Rose might not get moved. The last piece of news I heard that he might not get moved from Detroit. Might just finish out the season there. Blake Griffin, what about him in Detroit? I mean, he's been kind of quiet over there, still productive, but is he somebody that's being talked about being moved? Could he help a team?
I don't think so. I think a lot of people don't want to really trade off anything. I think they're, from what I'm getting from these people or the teams, is they're going to kind of ride or die with their teams this year. And maybe in the off season, like, hey, maybe this didn't work out. Let's put in this other person.
Right.
Let's put in that other person, and let's see where we go from there. I don't really see any big trades coming out this year. I just don't think people are I don't really think there's any one person that's going to change the dynamic of a team. So I don't really think that there's, anything to.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? Like Anthony Davis is last year of his contract last year. Like, if we can pick him, he can be the catalyst that takes us somewhere. He can then make us do something. So I really don't think.
I agree. This season's kind of like, it's almost like, you ever been shopping, but you really don't need anything. You just kind of want to get something.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that this year with the trades. I feel like there's no one real clear player that's going to make that difference to put you over the top. I really can't see it, I think if the Lakers stay put and don't make a move, they'll be just fine. I think Portland needs to make a move, but who can they get that would really help them? Does Chris Paul stay on OKC? I mean, I don't know. A lot of questions here, but not sure that I have the answers, I guess.
Yeah, I think people just don't know what to do, and they don't want to make the wrong trade and script the team even more. So I think they're just trying to just stick with it to the end of the season. Some of these other players will be free agents, or they'll be able to move better or trade better or see what they can afford or trade with.
Yeah.
So I just think nothing's really going to happen until the end of the season.
All right, well, we'll let you know next show what happened, but that's it for the big NBA trade deadline, and that's tomorrow, I believe, at 3 p.m. Moving along, finish up here, we have UFC 247 this weekend. It's a return of Johnny Bones Jones. Probably everybody considers the most successful MMA fighter of all time. He's fighting a young, undefeated, up-and-coming fighter in Dominic Reyes. Southpaw, who's got a nice left hand, has been dropping guys. And I don't know. I mean, Jones is still a heavy favorite, but in my opinion, Steven, this guy looks like a little bit better competition than the last two guys John Jones faced. I mean, he's pretty much wiping out that division. Who else is in there? I know he's confident. He's 12-0. He probably really thinks he can win. And, I don't know. I'm not predicting a big upset here, but at the same time, I kind of got my eye on this. I'm kind of interested. Reason being, Reyes is just as big as Jones, 6'4". He might even be a little bit bigger physically as far as his frame. But then again, this is Johnny Bones Jones. Now, people, the best, UFC fighter, the most well-rounded. I mean, he just... The thing I like about John, too, he's mean. He's also mean when it comes down to it. So this is a guy that can finish. It's not going to be any San Francisco 49ers stuff here. He's going to put you away. So, I don't know. Are you looking forward to this fight this weekend?
Absolutely. The only thing I have to say about this fight is I think it's going to be an interesting fight. I really hope that John Jones isn't really looking past this guy.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is, he did I think it was with Ariel Helwani, but he basically said, I really want to fight Stipe. I think I have the power to knock him out. I think I can do this. Ariel Helwani bring up Adesanya and what it just seemed like he's so focused on what he wants to do after the fight and not really on the fight. Again, I don't know the mindset of this, of him. I don't really follow fighters a whole lot, but to me, it just seemed like he's more interested in I'm going to beat this guy because I beat everyone else. I want to go and do different things. I want to go fight the heavyweight, Maybe that was always the plan, like I said, where he was going to fight the heavyweight. So I think it would be
I get that. I follow you, and I get that sense of John Jones, and he's not really looking past this fight, but he's looking for a money fight, Steven. And when Brock Lesnar was still there was talks of maybe him, but of course Brock is old, hasn't fought in a while. That's gone. That ship has sailed. He's looking for a big money fight. He's wiped out that division. There's no one else for him to fight. This kid's probably one of the best up-and-coming contenders at 12-0. So if he does beat this kid handily, there's really nowhere to go for John Jones. He does need to move on and fight Stipe, or wait till Stylebender, gets a little bit better, a little bit more mature physically, and can challenge him. Other than that, there really is no big money fight out there for Jones, and so I think that's what he's kind of touching to. He needs to have that big fight, but things change all the time, and I think the right opponent will be there eventually. But this fight, I'm not overlooking this fight here.
No, I'm not.
He has to be careful, and I hope he isn't. Hearing him with the interviews with Ariel Helwani and whatnot, to me it seems like John Jones is in the best spot he's been in mentally. So, I mean, that's a good thing, but hey, it's hard to win all the time, and when you have heavyweights wearing 4.5-ounce gloves, you never know. Or light heavyweights, excuse me, but 200-pound men punching with 4.5-ounce gloves. You never know. I'm going to be checking it out this weekend.
So yeah, it should be interesting.
I still got John Jones winning, but like I said, I'm keeping my eye on this kid. He is a pretty decent striker. and he can punch backing up. That's what I like too.
Had John Jones ever fought a striker like this in a sense of like?
That's primarily a striker. You know what? I don't think so.
Like,
I think Gustafson's probably been the most skilled guy that he's fought as far as striking. You know, Cormier's primarily a wrestler, although he's very strong. You might be right. You might. It's not a fight. A striker.
What I mean by that is, like, if this guy catches John Jones,
Yes.
of course, and if anybody catches somebody, they're gonna drop.
Sure.
What I mean is, like, has John Jones's jaw have really been tested in the sense of like someone who strikes? That's like what their forte is. Because you said this
Yes.
guy's been knocking out people with his
He
left.
has.
So is this something that
He's got
maybe
good timing and power.
is this something John Jones should be worried about? Maybe he should wrestle the guy. Maybe he should do some jiu-jitsu to take him off. Or do you think?
I think he just needs to step on the gas, much like he did in the fight against Anthony Smith. He never gave Anthony Smith the chance to get any confidence or get any of his arsenal or punches off. He just attacked him and just kept giving him stuff to think about. So Dominic Reyes that's the blueprint he needs to look at. Don't fight like Anthony Smith. Don't sit back and just wait for, things to open up. You need to, I guess kind of have no respect for John Jones. That doesn't mean just go in there, blind and get caught, but go in there and be aggressive and take the fight to him and do what you do best. But if you sit back and try to wait, John's going to figure you out, and he has more experience in the later rounds, and he's going to pick you apart. So I think the best chance this kid has is to catch him early, but be aggressive and stay up on him, right up on him. Even though they're both tall, John has the reach advantage. I think he has like a 5 or 6 inch reach advantage. So, therefore, if I'm Reyes, I'm fighting him on the inside. And I'm really trying to put that pressure on. I'm not going to sit back. This guy's too experienced, being Jones. So, but it just should be an interesting matchup, because he's such a good striker. 12-0, he's been knocking guys out. So I'll be checking it out.
Awesome.
Yeah. Well, guys, that's all we have for you. Like I said, another NFL season done. Rest in peace, Kobe Bryant. Tom Brady, we'll see what happens, where you go. NBA trades, who knows? John Bones Jones, is he going to make yet another title defense and keep his legacy going? We'll find out next week, guys.
Exactly. Until next time.
We're out.